With just 2 months to go until the Iowa caucuses, the first state to vote in the presidential race, there are some signs of trouble for Governor Jeb Bush, who is well behind the pack and in 5th place in the latest national poll. This despite a multi-million-dollar ad blitz from a super PAC supporting the governor's campaign. Moments ago, I sat down with Governor Bush, Republican presidential candidate and former Florida governor. I asked him if donors are worried about his poll numbers.
We're making good, steady progress in the early states. We have, I think, the best organization in the 4 February states, and I'm working hard, and we're making good, steady progress. Polls are irrelevant this time of the election cycle. Ask me what's going on in February, and the polls will be a little bit more relevant because that's when people are going to actually make up their minds.
It is worth pointing out that 8 years ago, Rudy Giuliani was on top of the polls. You think you can turn this around?
Absolutely. I feel really good about where we are. As people get closer, they're going to want to know who has the leadership skills to solve these big problems and to keep us safe. And I think we've had 7 years now of an untested president who had nothing in his background that would suggest he could lead, and he hasn't. And I think they're going to look for someone who has not necessarily a Washington insider, but someone who has the practical experience to be able to make tough decisions and to stick with it.
Let's take a look at the latest Quinnipiac poll. They put you at somewhere around 4 to 5%, 5% in this particular national poll, I believe it is, 4% in Iowa. And again, you're saying that these numbers are temporary, they are ephemeral, and they will change.
Yeah. Absolutely, just as they always have for every election cycle. I'm really not the guy to ask about all the process stuff. I wake up each day excited about being a candidate for President of the United States to convince people that our days in the future are going to be better than what we have now. But we have to fix how we tax and regulate and fix the broken Washington, and I know how I have the skills to do that. And we also need to focus on the threats that we have in the world. The greatest threat in America is not climate change, it's ISIS and these asymmetric threats of terror that are quite dangerous for the United States of America.
Probably no love lost between you and Donald Trump, but clearly he has tapped into something, call it anger, call it dissatisfaction, or whatever, that puts him at the top of the Republican heap right now. Can you do the same? I mean, what is it that Donald Trump is touching?
Donald Trump's a really capable politician. He's just not qualified to be president. If you listen to him talk as it relates to ISIS or Syria, he's not a serious person. He gets his information from websites, I guess, and watches the shows on Sunday and spews out stuff that is so confusing that at the end of the day, people are going to want to know who's going to sit behind the big desk, who can make these tough decisions, who can lead our country towards a place where we're more secure and we have a growing economy. And I think when we get to that point in the stage of the campaign, that I'm going to fare pretty well and Donald Trump won't.
Do you think a President Trump would be dangerous?
I think he's not qualified to be commander-in-chief and leader of the free world.
You have a new ad out featuring several Medal of Honor recipients, many of whom I've had the privilege and honor to meet, talking about you as the best qualified. I want to play a clip of that now.
Jeb Bush.
Jeb Bush will rebuild our military and make us proud to be Americans.
Jeb Bush is ready to take the role of Commander-in-Chief.
Jeb Bush has the experience and those leadership skills. He represents the beliefs of this country. He'll have the American people's confidence, and he will be respected on the world stage.
When you have men like Leo Thorsness, a Vietnam POW for more than 4 years, when you have them backing you, what does it say to the voters?
Well, it says that they've made the determination that I do have the leadership skills to solve problems, to unite the country, and to keep us safe. And I'm honored to have their support, along with a lot of other veterans and a lot of people that I've sought the advice of. One of the things that's important in terms of leadership is to have intellectual curiosity and the humility to know what you don't know. It is not a sign of strength to be the loudest voice on the stage just talking. It's important to actually seek the advice of the best and brightest and to earn their support, and that's what I've done, and I'm honored to have their support.
Hillary Clinton, who appears on her way to the Democratic nomination, seems to be trying to project a more muscular foreign policy than Barack Obama. What would you say about Hillary Clinton's plans for something like ISIS?
Well, I've seen she recently gave a speech, and every time she speaks about this, she modulates her views. This is all poll-driven. She is totally a focus grouped candidate, and she'll change her views whenever she thinks that the American people or the Democratic primary voters are moving away from her. We need a president that believes what they believe and can persuade people and convince people that their point of view is an informed view, and it's important to act on it. So I don't, you know, next week she'll have a different view. I just don't have any confidence that she's serious about her views on foreign policy. They've been all over the map.
We know you want to get out and shake some more hands in Iowa. Thanks for being with us, Governor Jeb Bush.
Thanks, John.